Okay, so today we are making what I call dumpling soup. So I started by chopping up some garlic. Okay, so I have my carrots, my baby carrots cut up. I have a few carrots left over from the garden that didn't quite fit into a jar. So now we're going to put all of these in the crock pot. Okay, so usually I use hamburger. However, today we're going to use some stew meat. So I just melted some butter and I'm browning the stew meat. And I'm going to add some spices in here, a little bit of white pepper, some salt, garlic powder, and onion powder. Okay, so the beef is done now. I'm going to go ahead and turn off the heat, and I'm going to put everything in the skillet into the crock pot. All right, I have our potatoes cut up here. I grew these ones, these white ones. Yeah. So they're going to go in now, and then the last thing we have to do is the onion, and then add the spices and water. Onion has been added, and it never fails that no matter how hard I try, the crock pot is always overfilled. So we're going to go ahead and add some water. Okay, so this is about the right amount of water. I might have to add some water as it's cooking because I put a lot of stuff in here. Did not mean to, so now I'm going to go ahead and add the spices. All right, so I have some Better Than Bouillon beef. Let's see what else. White pepper, garlic salt, or garlic powder, onion powder, pepper, bay leaves, and then I did some celery salt. I also need to add my barley. Hold on. Okay, so I added my barley right there. It is more than that. It's my favorite part of the soup, so it does go down. So I'm going to get this stirred in and just let this simmer all day, and I'll be back to do the dumplings. Okay, so we're starting to make the dumplings. I have 2 eggs, and I did not measure the flour. I'd measure it with my heart. And we're going to mix in now some milk. Some baking powder, not baking soda. And again, I like my dumplings really fluffy. So I put a good amount of that in there. Salt and pepper. And then we're just going to mix everything. We're going for a little bit thicker than pancake. And I ended up moving the soup into a bigger pot because it didn't fit in the crock pot. You have to have room at the top for the dumplings, and I did not have room. Add some more milk. And this and the barley are my favorite parts of this soup. So basically the soup has been cooking all day. It's a little bit thicker than pancake. So it's not running off, but it also isn't stuck. So that's about the thickness that we want. And then we'll go ahead and I'll show you what we do to drop it in the soup. Okay, so here's the soup. So when you put in the dumplings, you're just gonna take and drop it. It is going to sink for a minute, but they do come back up to the top. And each one of these drops turns into a dumpling. So if we have some extra here, if there's any places that don't have a dumpling, we'll just drop some more. And then what we're gonna do is I've had this on low for a while. I'm going to turn the heat up just a little bit because we want it to cook the dumplings. Maybe get one more. Right there. So then we're gonna put the lid on, turn up the heat, and in about 30 minutes, it's all done. All right, so I forgot to film the last part. So, you know the dumplings are done when they don't look wet on the top. And I know that's really vague, but when you make it, you'll see that the dumplings aren't like shiny on the top anymore. And then you know it's done. So I hope you guys enjoy. Don't forget to subscribe. Bye.